Reversing a 150-year-old policy, Baylor University this week will now allow dancing at all school events. The school's president said he thought it was about time since most of the students were already fucking each other. Yeah, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but isn't it about time we get off Generation X's tattooed back? It's no wonder Xers are angst-ridden and rudderless. They feel America's greatness has passed. They got to the cocktail party 20 minutes too late, and all that's left are those little wieners and a half-empty bottle of Zima. So that's why they're threatened. But why do we find them so threatening? I thought we were a little hipper than that, or at least we were when we were their age. You must remember that then, as now, it remains the single most important function of a generation to irk the living shit out of the generation immediately preceding it. You know, screw the old squares. Listen to a faster beat. Wear a wider cuff. Get a Beavis and Gingrich tattoo. Change. Life is about change. More than that, life is like riding the bus. It requires change. The so-called Generation X has gotten a bad rap for being whiners. But people in their 20s have always been whiners. People in their 20s should be whiners. They are to whining what Pavarotti is to, Tommy. Okay, I don't know opera. The reason you whine is that you've just popped out of the cozy, beer-filled amniotic sac of academia. You haven't developed the prerequisite thick hide of the cynical, callous bastard yet, and your future seems bleaker than Ingmar Bergman listening to an acoustic set performed by Leonard Cohen. Add to the angst bouillabaisse the current prospects of a flatlining economy, an environment that's choking to death on its own shit, and a sexual atmosphere that's about as warm, safe, and inviting as a Zagreb bunker. Christ, if I were in my 20s now, I'd be bitching so hard I'd make Beck sound like Tony Newley. Additionally, this generation of young adults is being forced to experience every coltish fumble of their coming of age with the media doing a hushed, reverentially breathless play-by-play. It's kind of like if Dr. Frankenstein gave a running commentary on what the monster was doing all day. What's the result of all that scrutiny? Well, it would appear mass-marketed nonconformity. The real world holding auditions. Auditions for the fucking real world. Everybody's so busy playing to the cameras that nobody's creating anything. That's why they use all our stuff. The Brady Bunch, Platform Shoes, Tony Bennett. They suffer from generational performance anxiety because we baby boomers are constantly pounding our chests about our salad days. To hear us tell it, the late 60s and early 70s were a time where between orgies everybody got together and put on Woodstock. Then between band breaks, we put a stop to an unjust war and brought a rogue chief executive officer to his knees, all the while smoking the most incredible cheap herb in the history of the dilated planet. You know, They heard all about the free love of the 60s and the 70s, but now it's the 90s, and the balloon payment is due, and their generation has to pay the mortgage. Instead of casual sex, they have precautionary sex. Nothing ruins the mood of foreplay more than the recurring image of your 65-year-old homeroom teacher trying to stretch a condom over a cucumber. So believe me, I understand the origins of their discontent, and I empathize. Having said that, I'll be damned if I know what makes these kids tick, you know? It appears their personal philosophy places a great deal of value on getting so many body piercings that you begin to look like you fell down a flight of stairs carrying a tackle box. Body piercing, a powerful, compelling visual statement that says, gee, in today's competitive job market, what can I do to make myself even more or less employable? I think I just said more or less. Oh, my syntax was in my beard. Fashion is also an interesting sword when wielded by disaffected youth. Any guy that remembers being a teenager knows that many youthful uprisings take place in the pants. So the practicality of wearing them so big that you could smuggle a heart on the size of a beagle is not lost on me. Well, what else is important to them? As far as stimulants go, both of our generations know the feeling of jonesing for product from Colombia. It's just that their product is coffee. And by the way, is it asking too much to be able to drink a cup of Joe in public without having to listen to some malcontent working out their issues next to me? It's bad enough that these coffee houses all seem to have purchased their furniture at the same Dresden fire sale. And when the guy who's been occupying a table for the entire time he's been growing his goatee finally gets up and clears away his journal and his clove cigarettes and his Tibetan worry beads, and you can finally sit down when you realize that the table is wobbling because one leg is so much shorter than all the others that the only thing that will even keep it is a hardcover copy of Marcel Proust's Remembrance of Things Past, and you're finally enjoying your cafe whatever and your triple berry chocolate chip 6-grain stone when some chick with a buzz cut wearing cat's eye glasses and an orange avocado green feathered Joanne Worley Sakatumi dress and combat boots stands up in front and starts reading a poem she wrote about the first guy who ever felt her up. You know. All right. All right, so I just tipped my hand. Maybe I'm not as comfy with these kids as I let on. Maybe it's true. Maybe there is a gap between the baby boomers and the Generation Xers that makes the Khyber Pass look like the eye of the needle. How did that happen? Well, I'll tell you how it happened. It happened because we have become our parents. The caretakers of the status quo, set in our ways, afraid of change, prattling on about our Ford Windstars while tapping our feet to Wang Chung in our dentist waiting room. Look, sure, Xers are pissed, and they're just beginning to understand it. It's because we owe them, and we haven't said a damn word about it. It's like that friend who owes you money but makes you feel like an asshole for bringing it up. Well, trust me, my fellow elders, it's time to brace up and get ready because natural progression dictates that they'll get over their shyness soon, and they're going to start banging on our doors like a short-changed Chinese takeout guy. They are our ghosts of Christmas past that if you listen closely, you can hear them rattling their nose change. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss, except for the Doc Martens and the purple hair. Of course, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.